Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 105-94. The Lakers get the victory in San Antonio. And, we were able to beat this team because they did not want to win. I can't stress this enough. There's a theme going on here with the San Antonio Spurs. Keldon Johnson launched three-point shots, bricked them all, and it will assure that their efficiency level is bad as a team, and they will always lose games they need to lose. I'm telling you, this is a theme. I'm watching the Spurs, and they're doing the same thing. He was 1 for 10 against us in the first game that we saw him, and he was 1 for, 9, 1 for 8, something like that tonight from behind the arc. It's one of those situations where every time the Lakers make a mistake, it's like his cue to jack a bad three-point shot up. To assure that we never, ever actually get, have to pay for our mistakes. That's what I'm gathering. So it's a good strategy if you're trying to get Wembanyama and trying to be the worst team in the league. They're definitely pulling it off. Their starters all scored in double figures. Their bench all scored in single figures. Like, they had a very structured bad game. But LeBron James, the score, the difference would have been 18 to 20 points most of the time. But LeBron James would just not stop turning the ball over, man. We had, I believe it was like, what was it, 9? I think it was that we got a 9 or 8 turnovers. I think it was 9 turnovers he ended up with. You know what I mean? They had, if I'm not mistaken, 22 turnovers as a team the Lakers had, and the Spurs only had 11 steals. So that's 11 unforced turnovers. I don't think you can win that way. And then you look at the offensive rebounds we gave up, and we gave up 20 offensive rebounds to that team. We're lucky to win. I don't think you can beat many NBA teams if you play to the level of the opponent most nights on a professional floor. And that's what we did tonight. And because the Spurs don't want to win, they did not make us pay for any of our mistakes. That's exactly what I saw out there. Jeremy Sohan had like 4 or 5 steals. He had a pretty good stat line out there. Bunch of assists, bunch of rebounds, steals, and points. So even though he was a minus 17, the rookie stood out for their squad. For our squad, Anthony Davis did pretty good. You got to give him credit. 15 boards again. His rebounding is continuing to stay stellar. We had issues getting him the ball in the third quarter and fourth quarter at times. It wasn't as good of a game for him as it would have been if we would have stuck to the game plan like we supposed to and feed him the ball as much as we should have. We got away from him a little too much. You see 2 players down there who shot more shots than Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis only missed 3 shots. So this is one of them situations where I just have to ask the team to continue to work hard at psyching themselves into falling in love with passing the ball to Anthony Davis. Russell Westbrook has a great idea. He understands that he's continuing to make that a point of emphasis every time he's on the floor with the man. That should be everybody. Everybody. Your goal is to either get an open shot or to get the ball to Anthony Davis. That should be the only thing we're trying to do, because as long as he's playing at a high level, we're not losing. You know what I mean? And if we're getting the help from everybody else, with the exception of the Phoenix game. So we're winning games, and he has a big part to do with that. The efficiency is there. His mid-range jump shot is falling. Interior, everything, the timing is perfect. His timing genius was on display tonight in more than one occasion. Offensive rebounding gifts. He's just playing at an elite level right now, a level that we've been waiting to see for about 4 years, to be honest with you. So I'm just happy to see it, and we're just going to continue to ride the wave. Dennis Schroeder stepped in, did some good things with the minutes he was given. I was pleased with it. I think there's still going to be a learning curve for him. A lot of the turnovers were plays that were broken up because they were trying to get him involved, stuff like that. So we need to do better there. Troy Brown jumped back into action with a real bounce back game. Hit all of his shots tonight. Definitely what I've been calling for him to do. Is just play with a lot of balance and confidence, and continue to be as aggressive as he knows he should. These last couple games he had been a heck of a slump. Tonight he bounced out of that with an extreme flurry. So what I want to see is some consistency. We had a great game today, bad game yesterday. What are we going to get tomorrow? It's one of those things where it's like, give me some consistency, Troy. But I'm definitely happy with what I saw tonight. Let's see. Austin Reeves was good tonight as well. Did some really good things in the first half, but his minutes were kind of sporadic. I think he was the guy that kind of got lost in the rotation as we were trying to get LeBron back into things. But all in all, with the minutes given, he was excellent, as we've learned to appreciate over the last several games. Wenyen Gabriel did some good things in this game, did some bad things in this game, but overall, his effort was really on display in the first half. Completely all over the floor, filling in everywhere on the box score. Ultimately, just making his presence known. Russell Westbrook's inefficiency issues were on display tonight. He only hit one bucket, missed a bunch of them, but he did make an effort to get guys assists. I think he had like 7 assists, a couple rebounds, some steals and stuff like that. So ultimately, he did help the team, but there were just some inefficiency bucket getting issues there. Didn't see Thomas Bryant tonight. I'm not going to say I was disappointed with the coach's rotations tonight because of the fact that we're playing against the San Antonio Spurs. And we know we have another game against this very same team tomorrow night. So anybody who didn't play tonight can play tomorrow night. I look at it sort of like a preseason game, or summer league game or something like that. It's just, that's how you got to kind of handle these rotations as it pertains to this road trip, since it's so very unique. It's a bad team that we're going against. So it's like you don't want to just ultimately go out there and throw supreme strategy at them. You don't want to overplay certain guys. You don't want to have guys playing too many minutes on one night and not, and play too many minutes tomorrow. I'd expect to see an entirely different set of players tomorrow, basically. Everybody who didn't play tonight probably should be playing a lot more tomorrow. So that's kind of what I expect to see. And it's all good, man. I'm happy to have gotten another victory. What is this? Win number 6 for the Lakers? So we're beating the teams we're supposed to beat. And that's ultimately all you can ask for. Teams have made the playoffs only beating bad teams. They really have. So if we take care of business against these bad teams, we can ultimately find ourselves there too. Really, the name of the game tonight was just the Lakers' turnover issues. And there was really only one person turning the ball over, and it was LeBron James. But I did like how he tried to be careful not to shoot the three as much tonight. I only saw one errant bad three-point shot in the fourth quarter. Other than that, he was kind of scaling that back. I thought he was trying his best to get guys involved, but it's the story for him is going to be to understand. He's got to be the guy who's looking to make sure Anthony Davis finished plays in the fourth quarter. Because a lot of what went wrong in the fourth quarter, and I'm pretty sure everybody will see this in the film, is the plays that we were making just happen to not finish with AD, but they start with Bron. So Bron makes a decision, ball moves around, AD doesn't finish it. So it's going to be on Bron to make sure that AD gets the ball. Just like I said with Westbrook, Bron is going to have to make a concerted effort to feed AD, specifically in the second half. Because the struggles that we had getting AD the ball only happen when Bron's controlling things. When Bron ain't out there, we get AD the ball in the second half just fine. So I saw those issues rear its ugly head tonight. I think our team did a better job trying to get him the ball. But there were still key plays where I was looking and saying, you know what, there's 3 plays in a row. AD didn't touch the ball, and we didn't get nothing out of those plays either. So it's just going to be on Bron, man. Bron, obviously coming back from his injury, you could see it was messing with him tonight. I don't think he's 100% healthy. That leg, I saw one play, it looked like the leg gave out. So I'm looking and I'm like, man, I know that he's playing through this injury. I also know what I was told about the injury when he initially had it. So as far as whether or not he's 100% healthy, I'm going to lean on the side of saying no. But he's giving it a go, so hopefully he can just find ways of being successful out there for us. I think we saw some good things in transition from him. That's what I really like. He was able to help us in transition. We saw a lot more fast play out there. So I thought his pace keeping abilities really shined out there. If I want to shine some light on Bron, but most of what I saw down there was just the team continuing to do things that they had been doing correctly, and then having somebody come in and just murk that up. Straight up, that's what I saw. The team's doing great, and then they got to work around Bron James, whose issues are still the same they were before he got hurt. Turning the ball over. It's not about the specific way, whether it be a turnover or a missed shot. It's the combination of both. It's just too many lost possessions, man. Too many lost possessions. And what Bron has to understand and absorb is he too becomes a defensive liability as well. And what he also is going to have to absorb is, because he's a 3-4 combination, the way our roster's structured, it's kind of hard to rotate players properly around his position. It's easier for coach to make substitutions when his position isn't accounted for based on the other positions that other guys play. Like we have Winyan Gabriel, Troy Brown, these guys, Austin Reeves gets the ball in his hands more. These things are kind of condensed to make a lot more sense, and those guys have more wiggle room to do what it is that they do. Those possessions where Bron is either bricking shots or turning them over, when he's not on the floor, those are plays that Austin Reeves is running and attacking. More plays for Walker, who was excellent tonight. More play, you know what I'm saying? It's more plays for other players who are going to make plays for one another and ultimately finish plays with Anthony Davis. And so when you put Bron down there, now you got to account for the plays that are lacking because of him. So as I always say in regards to this team, it's about the efficiency for Bron. If you can be efficient, high scoring, high efficiency James, then we're always going to be successful with you on the floor because those possessions are never going to be empty. But if those possessions happen to be empty, if he's bricking shots and turning them over, we don't account for those possessions being made up. And not only that, but what you end up finding is that this team's chemistry is fragile, man. So once LeBron James starts doing things that make people roll their eyes, other people start doing things that make people roll their eyes. It's one of those situations that I've called out several times between certain players where it becomes okay, you didn't do good on the last play, so I'm not giving you the ball right now. Or you might have bricked the last couple shots, so I'm hesitant to pass you the ball right now. It's that stuff that happens on a consistent basis with this unit that ultimately throws possessions away as well. So you look at all these little different things that throw possessions away. You cannot have LeBron James be someone that snatches approximately what? If you're taking the 9 turnovers and the brick shots, 15 possessions away from a team that has this issue. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to be engaged in each and every possession. And as they are systematically sound as they can be once they're put in position to do what it is that they do well, then you find a team that can really win games despite not being overly talented. And you have a situation where Anthony Davis is able to put up astronomical numbers because everything is centered around feeding him. So Bron has to find a way to, he's going to have to go into his genius and find a way to not be someone who takes so much away from the team. Because as I've always said a million times, him trying to get in rhythm is not harmless here. Him taking long 3-point shots just to create space for him to be more of an attacking player is not harmless here. Those are lost possessions. Simply put, possessions that we never make up. So he's going to have to work that into his equation, and he's going to have to start doing things a way that complements his team, or he's going to have to accept the fact that he's going to be the problem. Straight up. And as I've seen other guys adjust to fit what this unit needs, now is his turn. Simply put. Everybody has their own adjustment they have to make in order to make this roster work. And the Kings' adjustment is probably the biggest one. So, where much is given, much is expected, and obviously he's been given the crown. Now we expect him to make the sacrifices necessary to be a player on this team. Not just a king, but literally one of the guys, man. And if he can find himself eager to feed Anthony Davis just like the rest of the team, I promise you we're going to win. Because what's going to end up happening is his offensive game is really going to open up because everybody's going to have to quadruple and triple team Anthony Davis all day long. They're going to forget that that's literally LeBron James. You feel me? And that's exactly what he wants. He wants people to forget that he's LeBron to that level. And that's what I think LeBron wants. He wants what James Harden has, which is the idea that he can't do what he used to be able to do. Now, granted, James Harden is hurt right now, but he started the season extremely efficient, and people had very low expectations for him because they had seen him play so blah last year till it's like whatever he gives you this year, it got to be better than that. And when he comes in playing at his best, then it's like, oh my God, he's taking the defense off guard because they're not expecting him to be Rockets James Harden. That's the type of aura I believe LeBron James wants right now. He wants people to kind of forget that he's capable of doing the most amazing things possible. He wants people to think that he's a a lesser version of himself, and he wants people to think that he's a role player looking to feed Anthony Davis. Once people start forgetting who he is, he could turn the afterburners on and kill them all. Because that's what he's going to have to do. As long as they're still defending him like he's LeBron James, he's not able to do the things old Bron is able to do. You know what I mean? He's a step slower. It's just not there. But if the defense lets up a little bit and stops guarding him like he's the king, it's going to open up everything for him. The same way he wants these 3-point shots that he keeps throwing around to do, that too will do that for him once they start thinking that he's not going to be a scorer like that no more. I think he needs to start passing the ball just like James Harden. Look to be the main facilitator like your game is structured to be, man. I don't know if he's ready to do that though. It's just all about wanting to do it and really tapping into that focus of being a facilitator. I don't think any coach has really asked him to zoom in on that aspect of his game, despite all the pundits and everybody around the world saying he's the best passer in the world. Has any of these coaches asked him to do it first? Pass first, man. I want you to turn into Magic Johnson. I want you to turn into John Stockton. I want you to turn into every pass first. Jason Kidd, Lonzo Ball, all them dudes. That's who Bron needs to be, and less of a scorer, man. Unless he's driving at the rim like he was in transition tonight. You know, those are the plays we need to make it. Because if he's shooting long 3-point shots, I can very easily see him pass those shots up, get those plays to other players, and we'll see some of that same dynamic that we've been seeing when he's not on the floor. But when he's looking to just jack up the 3-point shot and backpedal and all that stuff, I promise you, we're going to see situations where the game was close like it was tonight when it didn't have to be. We should have been up by 18 the whole game. It shouldn't have been no Anthony Davis or Bron, none of them in the fourth quarter. And he needs to see how him throwing away possessions correlates to him being on the floor at the end of games, too. That's a very important thing for him to correlate and understand. Brother, you are giving yourself more opportunities to have to play more basketball by not taking possessions seriously in the way that I described. Because if those possessions connect, man, you're sitting down in the second half. You ain't got to worry about running around. And so these are the type of things I'm talking about. Efficiency is everything, man. Intellectual, competitive nature. We want to be smart in our competitive nature. We don't want to be stupid. Every time we throw up a bad 3-point shot, it's just giving the ball to the other team and asking them to keep it close. And so I was not pleased with the Lakers tonight as it pertains to that. This is a bad team that doesn't ever want to win, and we gave them 22 possessions. 22 possessions. 11 of them unforced. And like I said, the 20 offensive rebounds stand out as well. San Antonio Spurs had every opportunity to take this game, and the only reason why they didn't is because they absolutely didn't want to. Simply put, they didn't want to. I look at our bench. I liked what I saw from a few of the guys. I want to say, I'm trying to remember who it was that had the points that I'm looking at in my head. I think it was Wenyen Gabriel that contributed. Kendrick Nunn did some good things. His efficiency has been better over the last several games. And you just love that. Walker, got to give him credit. He went back to San Antonio, lit his old team up. I think he walked out of there with 25 plus points. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he had over 4 3-point shots, I think. 3 steals. So you just love what you saw from the guy, man. Walker is just continuing to show us exactly how to play that shooting guard position. When you're trying to come in and make a name for yourself, you're expected to score. He's scoring. Simply put, he's scoring. He's sliding toward the basket with intent. And I'm really happy, man. That's the best signing we've had thus far, if you ask me. He's been great for us. And you just got to love what we're seeing out of there, out of Walker. So let's see who else we want to talk about, man. Just very happy with Russell Westbrook's floor generalship as it pertains to getting guys involved. I just want to continue to see us empower him to make plays for Anthony Davis, make plays for other people, because what it is that he does is a different pace than what Bron does and what Austin does. And I think the more we continue to empower him, the further he gets away from his struggling days and starts to feel more confident, starts to feel like himself again. So I'm liking what I'm seeing there. He's falling comfortably into that role as second unit guy, and I think he's been continuing to be steady. The efficiencies here and there, some of the turnovers, stuff like that here and there, but um, he's continuing to be steady in a positive way, and I'm happy with that. So yeah, man, I thought this was a game where we were just happy to be playing against the Spurs, man. Some nights you just really, really glad you ain't running to a really good team that just does everything right. So you can kind of get away with certain things, and that's what happened tonight. We run into a team like the Bucks, we probably lose by 35. Run into a team like um, Sacramento, even Sacramento, the way as good as they're playing right now, you're probably gonna lose by over 10 points. But because we played against a tanking squad that had no interest in doing anything at all but getting out of there healthy, we were able to get a victory and get out of there healthy. So that's what I want to give our team credit for. It's hard to pick this game apart because you just know that what you're looking at isn't important at all as it pertains to the numbers and the stats and all these different things. Just out of this year, understand the other team isn't competitive. Um, I like that we continue to grab boards. I think we walked out of there with 48 boards. They had 50. So you want to win the rebounding total, but if you're going to lose the rebounding total, you only want to lose it by a few. So I think we've been rebounding better as a team over the last couple of games. And though we've lost the rebounding total, our average has been up. So you definitely love that. And of course, a lot of that has to do with Anthony Davis. As I said, no Thomas Bryant tonight. I thought this was an opportunity for us to kind of run him, kind of get him back in the rhythm too. I don't know why we're so guard-centric, although we have plenty of guards. I still think we kind of get away from running our rotation of bigs and forwards a little bit, and I think that games like tonight is when you want to see that. So hopefully we can kind of get away from the guards as much tomorrow and kind of get TB back on the floor, see more guys that we haven't seen as much of. Maybe get Matt Ryan on the floor tomorrow. Get all the guys that you don't care to see in competitive situations on the floor tomorrow. All the guys that we know in the struggle, Damian Jones, Matt Ryan, Max Christie. I kind of want to see those guys more so tomorrow. And the reason why that is because I don't want to see them in other games. You see what I'm saying? Like, well, with the exception of Max, of course, who I do want to see. But, I don't want to see Matt Ryan in big minutes in most games. I don't want to see Damian Jones in big minutes in most games. But we do want to continue to develop those players. We do want to continue to get them real minutes. We do want to continue to see them get better on our team. And I firmly believe in player development. So I think that the best thing for the Lakers to do is try to find strategic ways of playing the guys that you don't want to see very much in games like tomorrow. And of course, it's going to be about getting Braun back involved too. I think he'll probably play even though it's a back-to-back. You never can be tell. You never can be sure in a situation like that. But given the fact he's trying to get back in rhythm, I do expect he'll probably give it a go tomorrow. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't think any game is a throwaway game for the Lakers at this stage. We're trying to build our way out of a hole. So it's not like we're giving any games away at all. We have to take victories as they come to us. So we should be competitive tomorrow. I don't think the Lakers should think in any other way than making sure that the victory is captured. There's something else. What else is there to say? Dennis Schroeder, of course, Patrick Beverley missing. We didn't miss him. I would love to tell you guys that his defense and stuff was missing, but going against San Antonio Spurs, having Dennis Schroeder back, you didn't miss him at all. And that's really what it's about. That's why he could do what it is that he did in that last game, because the fact of the matter is we really did need his minutes to get Dennis Schroeder and other guys, Nunn and guys like that involved. So however we're going to work this rotation going forward, we definitely have a log jam. So it's going to be incumbent upon the guards to be patient, as I've mentioned once before with these minutes. So yeah, man. I mean, that's what it was. If you want to talk about the Spurs, they, like I said, 5 players in double figures. All their starters scored. Trey Jones continues to impress with steals, 3-point shots, assists, things like that. What else? Who else was down there? Keldon Johnson shot terribly. We've talked about that already. Vassell, that's who we need to talk about. Devin Vassell is a real deal, man. Ain't no question about it. It's a good player on a bad team. And he made his presence felt all over the place, hitting bank shots and just doing everything, really. Devin Vassell is probably the best player. So that's something that needs to be understood as he continues to ascend and get better. I'm pretty sure he's going to give us some problems tomorrow. Zach Collins is back from injury, so that's noteworthy. He played out there tonight. I thought he did some good things defensively. Some stuff that stood out there that was positive. 3-point shot that bricked off the side of the rim too that was not positive. I don't know why that man keeps shooting threes. I ain't seen him hit one yet. But he does play some good defense, and if he ever shakes off the injury issues, he can be a nice role player in this league, I think. Didn't have to deal with Doug McDermott. Didn't have to deal with Josh Richardson. It didn't matter. But those guys were not out there with injury. They may be back tomorrow, though. McDermott particularly. I'm not sure about Richardson. But what else? Jakob Poeltl. That was one of those situations where you look up at Jakob Poeltl. I don't know what happened. He was playing well, but they just didn't play him in the second half or something. I don't know if he got in foul trouble or whatever. It's part of the tank mission. At the end of the day, you got a really good player there. You don't necessarily have a purpose for him other than to showcase him and trade him at this point since he's expiring and you don't want to re-sign him. So it's one of them situations where it was like they didn't really run him too much tonight. He had high efficiency. I think he only missed like 2 shots. But his minutes were like in the mid-20s, and you know he's probably their best player, if not Devin Vassell. It is definitely Jakob Poeltl. So I just look at that situation and I say, part of the tank mission. Don't play him too much. So we'll probably see a little more of him tomorrow than we did tonight. But all in all, this is just a long season for the Spurs, man. I don't know how the fans are dealing with this. I probably wouldn't want to watch too much of this. I remember this. This is like the soccer era for you guys. It's bad. It's going to stay bad. You want it to be bad, and you're hopeful that you can win the lottery because of it. So, as a Laker fan, I'm glad we're getting you guys out the way. We only play y'all twice more, and one of them will be tomorrow. So, we can get these games out the way with your ugly team. Them colors are awful. Y'all need to go back to black and white. I don't know what the heck y'all thinking with these. They got the Whataburger orange. That's exactly what that was. Whataburger orange. And then you got the Vancouver Grizzly green. I don't know what y'all doing, man. I don't. But it's ugly. It's bad, and you're losing it. And that's just that. So hopefully it works out for you guys. Get Wembanyama, man. Keep Devin Vassell. You know what I'm saying? The future will be blindingly bright, of course. But for now, it's just pastel hell over there in San Antonio, honestly. It's really ugly. So that's pretty much what it is, man. We'll see them again tomorrow. Hopefully they'll give us a different look. Just wear different jerseys and give us a different floor. That's all I ask. The Lakers are 3-0 in our beautiful white jerseys, the Los Angeles jerseys, which is a shock to me because when I saw those jerseys and I realized what our team was looking like, I was like, oh, these are going to be the losing jerseys. But we haven't lost a game in them, and I love it because I'm a big fan of those jerseys. So, as we say jerseys and stuff, I want an alternate floor, by the way. Can we get one for us? Since all these teams got alternate floors, none of them look any good. Can we have an alternate floor, please? That's all I'm asking. So, man, good win, Lakers. Hopefully LeBron James can kind of go back to the drawing board, look at those turnovers, and see where he can affect change in a positive way tomorrow if he decides to give it a go. Hopefully Anthony Davis can continue to rebound the way that he's been rebounding because that's really where the key is. The scoring is going to come and go. But the rebounding has to stay high because that's where he's really kicking butt. And, of course, defensively, he's just one of the best, man. He's playing his best basketball right now. You got to love it. I'm happy to have him on a bunch of fantasy teams, that kind of thing. And just got to keep him healthy. And, that's what it is, man. You just love getting wins when your team has been in a hole like ours, and now you're starting to see victories pile up real fast. What if we won 5 out of the last 6 or something like that? Very, very exciting to see the schedule loosen up for us to take on some easy victories. So that's where we're at, man. Another one with San Antonio tomorrow. This concludes Friday's edition of the San Antonio series because, of course, that's how we had to split them up. And, we'll get right back to you, man. Get right back to you tomorrow. Do this exact same thing with these exact same teams. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.